1. Shotsky. Hello, and welcome back to the Why Do Boys Make podcast. It's episode 15, and it's a very special episode. Folks, I am calling this episode Why Do Boys Make podcast, Raw. Due to the holidays, we've decided we're going to punt editing, and this episode is going to give you all the raw footage and audio of this recording. We're also going to get fucking shit-faced, because, I don't know, why not? With that, I have my good friend Fitzy, and, of course, he's my co-host. Fitzy, how are you?
Corby, you're right. This episode's going to be raw as heck, friendo. Cheers to that. No,
Fitzy,
I'm not quite there yet, but I'm getting there. Back to you, Corby.
As regular listeners may know, the first stumble of many, we have a guest with us tonight. Our good friend and loyal dictator, Mike Bokuniewicz, is here with us. Mike, welcome, and how are you?
Hey, Corby. Thanks for having me. I mean, I told you to put me on, so I'm glad to be here. Fitzy, good to see you. No, I'm just kidding, bro. Shotsky.
Oh, shit!
This is my race through New York with Jimmy Fallon shot glass.
Oh, baby.
Gifted to me by my fellow Floridian, Chris Patton. Thanks, Chris. Love you.
One of the greatest rides to exist in Florida. Mike, thanks again for joining us. I really appreciate it. I'm not going to beat around the bush here. Let's begin because we have an announcement on the podcast. And Mike, please, because it has to do with you, take it away.
Thank you, Corby. So, for the past few weeks, you've been seeing a bad break. Yet today, I consider myself a man on the face of the earth. I've been in fantasy leagues for 8 years and have received joy and heartbreak through each season, but mostly heartbreak. And it is today that I announce my retirement. When you look around, wouldn't you consider it a privilege to associate yourself with such fine-looking men who have been on my teams? Sure, I'm lucky. Who wouldn't consider it an honor to have drafted Matt Jones? Also, the strong foundation of the team, fantasy's greatest stank, Bishop Sankey. To have spent 5 years with that wonderful little fellow in his knee of glass, Will Fuller. Then to have spent almost 9 years with that outstanding leader, that smart student of psychology, the best running back in football of all time, Lamar Miller. Sure, I'm lucky. When Buck Allen, a player you would give your right arm to pick up on waivers, and vice versa, sends you a gift of 28 points in 1 week, and to the following, that's something. When everybody down to Devontae Adams and Todd Gurley have some of their worst years with you, only to bring trophies to other teams in following years, that's something. When you have Jeremy Langford, who drops a 30 bomb on Monday Night Football, including a 2-point conversion to beat Corby in your first Monday Night Miracle, that's something. When Jeremy Langford then loses the job to Jordan Howard, and you fall into the trap of drafting Bears running backs over and over and over again, only to be outshined by Tariq Cohen and a victim of Matt Nagy, it's a blessing. When you make it halfway through your season and find yourself crossing the Wayne Gallman line, picking up players like Boobie Dixon, Benny Cunningham, CJ Spiller, who have been a tower of strength and shown more courage than you dreamed existed, just to save your 3-7 season. That's the finest time I know. So, I close in saying that I might have been given a bad break, mostly of my own doing, but I've got an awful lot to live for, especially you, Terrence Williams, and you, Willie Snead, and you, Zay Jones, and you, Rashard Matthews. Good luck in future seasons to my fellow league mates, except for you, Adam. Thank you. And my fellow hosts here, let's take a shot to that. Let's commemorate that.
I'm down for that, my friend.
Cheers, Mike. What a speech!
To Bishop Sankey, to Terrence Williams, to all of those men who let you down.
Mike, I'm so glad you had that prepared. I have to tell you that speech actually scares me because all those names you mentioned you drafted before I could get to them. I loved all of those names. Me and you were always the Lamar Miller truthers.
Mm-hmm.
My team is going to suck without you to save me. I'm really scared, man.
Right. And like, obviously, it's our job to like convince you to, I don't know, quote unquote, change your mind. Like maybe you'll change your mind at the end of this podcast, but that's up to the user to find out. So let's just keep going and let's run our course here and let's ask you the question: why do boys play games?
You know, I've heard the previous guests get asked this question a lot, and I've had time to mull it over and think about it. And I get nostalgic when I think about gaming, and I would say it's the camaraderie above all. I think gaming has really been the glue between our friendship for all these years. Without it, who knows how good of friends we would have been throughout high school. Yeah, we would play games and then go to 117 the next morning, talk about those games, and then go home and play those games. It was great. Also, they're fun. That's the other reason.
I mean, that's a beautiful like that is the Mike answer that I would expect. The best answer out of all of them.
I will absolutely say at least 9.5 out of 10 right there. That was the first, I feel, real answer we've gotten. Nobody has said yet because they're fun. I cannot believe we have not gotten to because they're fun yet on the Why Do Boys Make Podcast podcast.
So that's what you took out of it. That's what you took out of the answer. Because they're fun.
You ended with it, all right? That was your closer.
That's true.
You want me to say, man? I gave you 9. Yeah, very insightful answer, Mike. Really appreciate your insight. And when I think about insight, there's only one other person in our league who moved from Westfield to DeBerry, which is kind of impressive if you think about it. Like more people should be moving to DeBerry, Florida. But we did have Chris in the pod last week. and on the pod, he was showing a list of Florida terms that I had Googled. And I just wanted to ask, did you have a favorite from that list?
Well, when Chris was giving his rankings, he said that I say one a lot, God's waiting room. So you think that would be the obvious answer?
Right.
No, there was a better one. Visit Florida. I like that one. That's really good. Straight to the point, right? You know, come visit.
Corby, did you have well, first of all, that was Chris's favorite too. That's good to hear. Corby, did you have a favorite from the list?
Let me just double check it really quick. Hold on. Florida, America's Wang. Definitely. It looks like a cock. I'm in.
It does.
I don't know what kind of automated software they were using to put together this list of Florida sayings, but the fact that we are not exposed to ice much in Florida was on their list is the whole reason pretty much why I copy pasted their list over here. Like that one was too good for me.
Yeah, that's a good one. Speaking of good ones, speaking of things that are good, besides my transitions, which we will get to, Mike, describe to me as best you can the perfect buffalo chicken sandwich / grinder.
Well, I could spend the whole podcast talking about this. You know, there's a lot of different. There's a lot of variables going into this. And I may be, crucified for this response I'm going to give, but I'll say it. The best buffalo chicken sandwiches that I've had are grinders, the long ones. My mom has made it for me every birthday except last year because she was up in Mass. So on a nice Italian roll or hoagie roll or French bread, even like a big Y, that's great. A thinner chicken, not crazy thin, but it can't be thick. Like I don't want fucking the bun to be like that and then the chicken to be like that. I don't want that. I want nice kind of thin, right? The core elements of it is the bread and the chicken, right? And then I always like lettuce on it too, right? So the breading on the chicken, it's got to be nice and crisp, but not too crispy. It's got to stick to the chicken. It can't fit like a loose sweater. Like, when you go to like Bella Rome, like you take a bite and it slips out, like that's gross, right?
Sure.
When my mom makes it, she actually puts mayonnaise on it, which is like hearsay, right? That's crazy. So I have a very soft spot for mayo on it with that style, but I would say the only other kind I really like is like a blue cheese sauce or dressing. I don't like cheese on it. Like I don't like cheddar. I don't like pepper jack, anything like that. Just the chicken and then the sauce, the lettuce, and the bread.
Chicken, sauce, lettuce, bread. You heard it here, folks. The greatest buffalo chicken sandwich.
Matty Matheson makes a very good one in one of his episodes. If you've ever watched the show, Cash showed me it. Cash shouts out. That pickle sliding out is really funny.
Shouts out to that person's name, whoever that is. I missed it.
Matty Matheson.
Matty Matheson, what's up?
Speaking of funny pickles sliding out, Mike, you're a Jets fan, and you know they're not going to win every game. And in fact, I think you know that lately, at least, they've lost more than they've won. So with that in mind, I want you to just quickly describe the mindset you had walking into Hard Rock Stadium last week.
Well, I mean, I'm not really a Jets fan. Oh, no, sorry, it's on the front there too. So, you know, like walking into the stadium, I was very drunk already. I was hammered. So, you know, I had my hubris. I was like, all right, Zach Wilson, masterclass, you know, 350 yards, easy, 4 touchdowns. Like he's going to go off. I don't care about the Miami defense, whatever, you know. Obviously that didn't happen. The pick 6 was great. I fell asleep a couple times again, because I was very hammered. And actually, so I made Jello shots for it, right? And when we were walking off the bus to the stadium, I grabbed a bunch. I guess I put one in my pocket, didn't realize it. Later on, I was going to go reach for my wallet, and then I just feel Jello all in my pocket. So the lid came off. So my pocket was full of Jello. It covered my wallet, covered my jewel, which actually was kind of nice because it tasted like blueberry. It was good. I was like this, you know, it was, so that was a good part, a little sweet snack. And the pick 6 was awesome. Again, I'm just saying again, the pick 6 was awesome. Zach Wilson rushed for a touchdown. Yeah, we lost. It was really sad. It was a 6-hour ride home because the bus driver got lost.
Wow. Speaking of really sad things, let's think
about
our
pocket full of Jello.
Okay.
A pocket full of Jello, Corby.
Sure, a pocket full of Jello.
Pocket. What are we talking about?
Pocket.
It's a very sad thing. Like, it's tough. Speaking of, again, I'm still transitioning here. Speaking of tough things, Mike, as you've already described to us that you have not had the best fantasy football luck. So I'm just wondering, out of all of the players, out of the 45 busts that you've drafted, who is your least favorite player in fantasy football? And
Jordan Howard.
Okay, hold on. So who's your least favorite player and why? And then as a positive note, who's your favorite player that never let you down?
Okay, Jordan Howard. I thought about it and I was going through the list mentally. I was like, it can't be Lamar, it can't be Matt Jones. I'm going through it. And then I just it felt me I felt like a shock. And the name came up and I saw it going on. Yeah, it's Jordan Howard. In my retirement speech, Jordan Howard takes the job. And who decides to pick him up that next year? Me. And he sucks. Tariq Cohen, this little guy, this little dude comes in and just tears it up. So, and he sucks. Jordan Howard is awful. So him. And my favorite bum, that was tough. It's, again, I'm going to have to go with a guy I mentioned in my speech, Buck Allen. I love Buck Allen. That guy has gotten me some classy wins, I never thought it could happen with this guy. I'm this Ravens running back, this guy, he's going off. Love him. I think my team name was Buck Allen. I mean, I've had 3,000 team names? Probably 5%, which is a lot. I mean, that's a lot. So, yeah.
Corby, do you have an answer for this one?
No, Buck Allen is such a great answer. That's what I would expect. I mean, in terms of like least favorite player in history of fantasy football, I would say Ryan Matthews. I have no explanation. I'm just like, that guy is just, he sucks. He sucks. That's it.
I have so many answers for the second one, my favorite bum, but I'll start with my least favorite, Mike. I had it written down. It's Jordan Howard. This is why I'm so afraid of you not being in the league, man. Because like Jordan, I don't know if you remember the year that I like was wheeling and dealing, traded my second round pick to get Jordan Howard. Like in mid draft, I was like, hey, if you draft Jordan Howard, I'll give you my second and third round pick.
I remember.
It did not work out at all. Like Jordan Howard is the guy who I really believed in. And guess what? He's currently on my team this year. What is going on?
Why can't I quit you?
Are you going to start him against me?
I really hope not.
I hope so.
I like waivers clear tonight. And
Tonight?
I expect him, I think.
Oh shit, I haven't.
There's a game tomorrow. So
Oh fuck.
So yeah, if all goes well, he won't be on my team, but maybe he will. Who knows? But yeah, Jordan Howard is my answer for least favorite, even though he's on the team. Favorite bums. Do you remember when Corey Davis was a bum? When he was a bum,
still is.
Corey Davis is my favorite bum.
Yeah, he's still a bum. It's Corey dropped this. Corey dropped this. Yeah, that guy's a bum.
All right. My
He's a
other
bum.
answer. I'm going to play a little bit of trivia. Before this year, where I really, really hate Kyle Shanahan. Do you remember his wide receiver 1 from a couple years back?
On the 49ers?
Yeah. You don't, because he wasn't on your team. Because
Pierre
I drafted
Garçon?
him Pierre Garçon. I drafted
Wow.
Pierre Garçon in every league, like 2
Yeah.
years in a row. I love that guy. Never worked out for me. I think he broke his neck the year I drafted him on every team. Like, sorry,
The
Pierre.
Fitzy Hex. Corby, you said Ryan Matthews, and you know who that reminded me of? Another guy that you would probably be a contender for your favorite bum? Jordan Matthews.
Oh my god! One of the GOAT wide receivers. Like there was a point where he was playing the Cowboys and he probably scored a 40-yard touchdown in overtime to like seal it, which sealed it for me. And so I'll never let that guy go. I fucking love Jordan Matthews. I think he's a tight end now.
Currently
Definitely
available to
Yes.
pick up as a tight end. If you want
Yeah.
to cast good voodoo on the league like Collin
Oh.
tried last week, you can pick up Jordan Matthews today.
Yeah.
We'll
Don't
get
do
into
that.
that voodoo. We'll get into
Yeah,
voodoo.
don't get into the doo-doo.
Hey, speaking of doo-doo, Mike, I wanted to
Mike.
ask you. Mike. Hey, Mike. Do you want to join our fantasy basketball league next year?
What, so I can draft all Knicks players and lose? If you need me, sure, whatever.
Thanks for being open. How about a fantasy NASCAR league? You want to start one?
Is that a thing?
Sure.
That sounds just stupid enough that I would do
All right. We can't wait to keep playing fantasy with Mike.
that.
Speaking of really stupid things, Mike, do you have any New Year's resolutions?
Yeah, actually. To not play fantasy football.
Not
No,
stupid.
no.
Not stupid.
No, not stupid. I'm planning on exercising more and hopefully doing a 5K at some point this year, because I know it's not a lot, but I've never done one. So give it a shot. That's my goal.
Yeah, that's more than I've done. So power to you.
That's great. That's great. Corby, do you have any resolutions? Even if you're not a big resolution guy, anything you plan on trying to adopt in the new year here?
In terms of adoption, I think I'm good, but I have an online class that I've enrolled in that I have not completed, that I definitely plan to complete in this calendar year. And yeah, that's about it. I don't know. How about you, Sean? What do you got?
Thanks, Mike. I plan on really just kind of getting into a better routine. I think working from home, there are days where like I'll wake up at 8:30 and my first meeting is at 8:30. I have actually taken a call from my boss from my bed. Like,
Whoa.
I know, like, hey, listen, editing a podcast, right? Like there are work nights where I'm up past midnight. So my New Year's resolution is to start. I think I texted you this one, Corby. I'm gonna adopt Mormon January, just like I did last year. No alcohol, no caffeine outside of like green tea, which I don't really fully count. And that's going to help reset the 6 a.m. wake up call every day. So I'm going to be a military man in the new year, at least for a month. Who knows what will happen in Feb.
Respectable.
Speaking of awkward pauses, let's hop into the game time. So at this point, we've played every game under the sun on this podcast. So let's go with, what the fuck are we even doing? I'm sorry.
All right. So, Mike, I wrote it down as a game of either or, but I explained it to Corby as a game of this or that. So we're going to play
like, what the fuck am I doing?
Or that. All you have to choose is this one or that one. We're going to list two things and you tell us which thing you like and why. And I got the first one for you, Mike. I feel like Steven trying to make a bet. This is my show now. Jeff Bridges or John Goodman?
Very tough. They're both in my favorite comedy of all time. Jeff Bridges has also been in Last Picture Show, True Grit. John Goodman is Dan Connor in Roseanne. Great role. I've never really watched Roseanne. I'm going to give the edge to John Goodman because he seems a little more jolly, but Jeff Bridges is a better actor.
Speaking of very rich things, let's go forward with Devil Dogs versus Devil Squares.
Devil Dogs. I've never had a Devil Square.
Everyone's sleeping on Devil Squares.
Well, Devil Dogs is great. Drake's is the best, dude. I love Drake's.
We're not sponsored by Drake's, so we can move forward.
Or Tito's.
Or Grey Goose.
Hey, no free advertising for all 4 people who are going to listen to this. Mike, next question. High fives or handshakes?
Oh, bro. High fives. Come on. That's just... Like, I'm not shaking my uncle's hand when the Jets got the pick six. The Jets got the pick six, by the way, on Sunday when I was there. My uncle didn't go, let me shake your hand. No, high five. That's joy, peak. You're like, let's fucking go. Slap some skin. I slapped him with my Jello. I was like, let's go.
Follow-up question. High fives or waving? The baby special.
What do you mean?
I guess like you're looking at a baby. Do you like it when they wave at you or when they high five you?
I do this to Hamilton like 30 times a day, so I gotta say I do that. I gotta go with the waves.
Baby wave.
It's probably the same thing.
Yeah.
So what do you think about like driving a car versus like controlling the aux in a car?
I like driving because I get very car sick. Yeah, driving. So that's it.
All right, Mike. Next question for you. Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays?
Oh, God, this war on Christmas, dude. Never ends. No, I'm just kidding. My thought is say, if you celebrate Hanukkah, say Happy Hanukkah. You celebrate Kwanzaa, say Happy Kwanzaa. Boxing Day, say that, whatever. So I say Merry Christmas, but now what I say, like when I'm at work, right, I say Happy Holidays, and if you choose to celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas. But Merry Christmas is what I would think too for this.
You really add the extra at the end?
I did it with one person today because I wasn't sure how they would receive that, and they said it to me too. So I was like, okay, I'll say that to you.
Okay.
Other than that, I just say Happy Holidays at work.
Artificial jalapeno versus artificial watermelon.
Well, I guess artificial watermelon. I've never had artificial jalapeno. Like, what do you mean? Like a sauce or like a?
Okay, so the like the pretzel bites with the jalapeno on it?
Oh, definitely artificial watermelon. Yeah. I know, shocker, right? I like real I like real jalapenos with the jalapeno flavoring with stuff. I'm not too big on. Doesn't taste like jalapeno.
There's something about that artificial jalapeno on those pretzel bites that like I love and Brenny loves that like I just like can't shake for some reason. So I thought I'd ask you.
Mike, I gave the same exact answer to Corby earlier. For me, it's artificial watermelon. Basically, like implies that it's candy. So yeah, I'll take the candy. I'm like big Adam answer here. I like artificial watermelon.
You know what's actually funny? I like real jalapenos and stuff like that, and I don't like artificial jalapenos. I love artificial watermelon. I'm not too big on real watermelon. Like I'll eat it.
Like
I'll
watermelon is awful. It's
melon is. I know I'm going to do a different top 10, but watermelon is the worst. Like melons are the worst.
You kidding me,
dude? All melon sucks. It just tastes
melons
like
are the worst.
I'm chewing on like a water bar. Like it sucks. It sucks.
Are you kidding me? Like 4th of July cookout. You got the watermelon wedges. You're telling me you're not lining up like those on a plate?
No fucking way.
I will grab it. I'll eat it if I see it. I'm like, okay, I need something sweet, I guess. No, it's not good. Melon is the worst.
It's not sweet. It doesn't taste like fucking shit, dude. Like melon sucks. It's just awful.
All right,
honeydew, cantaloupe.
Oh my god. No.
Go.
I was gonna bring those 2 melons into the list here. Power rank just those 3. Corby, you first before we get to Mike's power rankings.
Melon, give me the 3 here.
Watermelon, cantaloupe, honeydew.
Honeydew 3, cantaloupe 2, and watermelon the best melon because they all suck. They're all the worst. That's the worst fruit. It sucks. All sucks. It all tastes like shit. I'm chewing a bag of water. It's garbage. I don't give a fuck. I would much rather grab a handful of grapes because they actually taste like I'm chewing on something. Like cantaloupe sucks, dude. It fucking sucks. I don't care. Fuck it.
Now, Corby. So, Mike, I'm going to kick it to you first because I saw your hand up. So, give me your take first.
I just wanted to make a litzy's comment. That's like Fitzy's loser bracket. Dark Twisted Fantasy is like the opposite. You know, he's ranking like the worst shit, and I wholeheartedly agree with your ranking. But then I would put those like way beyond, like down the bottom, and then any other fruit above that. Any other
right?
Any other fruit.
So,
yeah, it's true. Mm-hmm.
So I'll be the first to tell you, maybe not the first, I'll be at least top 10 people to tell you that I'm not a tastemaker. You know, my opinions are not necessarily right in line with the public's, but in 3rd grade, we had to go around in
3rd grade.
We had to go around in a circle. We had to go around in a circle and say our favorite fruit. And I was the only child to say the word cantaloupe in the entire class. I know, right. You're not surprised. I am who I am. I love my melons. Alex, not so much. Alex, if she were on the pod today, she'd be singing the grapes praises in the fruit salad for sure.
Sir.
Dude, it sucks, dude. I'm anti-melon. That might be my team name at some point before the end of the season. That might be that's my lasting mark on the league.
Anti-melon.
Anti-melon.
Speaking of getting back to the podcast, I'll take this one. Let's get to the power ranking section because that's what we do here. It's game time in the league. So, Mike, let me read you what we wrote on this Google Doc. And let's bring out the big guns. We're back to ranking games. If you're around like you are, you see a list of 10 games, and let's rank those from 10 being the worst to number 1 being the best.
All right, quick timeout before you get started, Mike. My drink is empty, so I gotta get a drink.
I have to piss so bad.
You can go
piss.
Yeah.
You see that?
Good luck to Fitzy for doing this. Did you change jerseys?
Huh?
Fitzy, cut this part.
All right.
What part?
Mike, welcome back. After a quick pee break that we have not edited out at all, we all pissed in less than 3 seconds. Mike, we've got a list of games here. Why don't you just take those 10 games and edit them? And from 10,
Edit them. Yeah, Mike, can you edit them real quick?
Yeah,
Can
Mike, edit those games from 10 being the worst game you've ever played to number 1 being, out of every game you've ever played in your life, this is the best game you've ever played.
Okay.
Not verbatim.
Got it.
Okay. I think I get the gist of this. I understand what you're saying. Frank Sriracha. Number 10, right off the bat, Halo Reach multiplayer. Halo Reach sucks. It's awful. I hate that game. It's not good. Tim, if you're watching this, you're wrong. Halo 3 is the best of all the Halos. There's just no competition. Also, Steven, BRs are meant for Halo. I don't know why you don't like the BRs. You're like Fitzy. Fitzy likes the AR in Halo 3 for some reason. Don't get it. I mean, I like it too, but that's like Fitzy's thing. Anyway, after that, I'm going to put the Google Chrome dinosaur game because when it comes up, I'm mad. I'm like, I don't have internet. So, I don't like playing it. I just shut it off. I'm like, I don't want to do this. After that, I'll say Life. Life, I played it many times. It's honestly pretty boring. It's just not fun. You just go around and blah, 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 blah. Like it's not a good time.
So I think we all agree on that one, but I just want to pause here for a second. Life would have been number 11 out of 10 for me. Have you ever played the game of Life and thought, well, that was a good use of time?
No.
Dude, there was fairly recently, within the last couple of years, we were always playing Life. We played Life like in real life. And then we also, like when COVID started and stuff, we were playing Tabletop Simulator. We were like, oh, let's play Life. And I'm like, dude, can I not escape this fucking game?
Dude,
I don't want to fucking play Life on Tabletop Simulator. I want to play a Warhammer 40K and just do this. That's fun.
I want a game with a winner, right?
Yeah. And then that leads into my next one. All right, Corby, I'm sorry. Monopoly. Honestly, it's just from playing it all the time. It is fun, but also like fantasy football, I bet on the wrong squares and I lose. And it just makes me feel bad about myself. I've never won a game of Monopoly, and I never will. So I know I've never won. I suck, dude. I suck at Monopoly because I just don't like it. I'll play it. I will play it. Life.
It's a bad game. It's not a game that any human should play. It's a bad game.
It wasn't designed to be a good game, right? It was
exactly.
Right, not to be all Reddit user right now, but like, come on. Okay, after that, we're gonna throw Solitaire. Enough said. I mean, the thing is with Solitaire, I don't have my iPod Classic anymore, and I have access to other things. Like I can play other shit, like if I need to. I mean, come on. Unless there's like a cool effect for like the decks, like that might bump it up a little bit. Then following that, I'll give. Oh, this is tough. I'll do fantasy football. I'll put fantasy football in there. The reason why I'm retiring is the reason why I'm retiring. I had my moment this season when I had 4 people get injured, and Fitzy bashed my team anyway. But besides the point, they got injured that same day, and I was like, I don't feel like doing this anymore. So fantasy football is dropped, and then right after that, DraftKings. I like the immediacy of it. It's fun. Yeah, it's fun. I like it. It's cool. My good friend Adam, I don't know if you know him, won a lot of money doing DraftKings. So good for him. Love that guy. Just don't want him to win the league, but love that guy. After that, I'll say Texas Hold'em. Texas Hold'em. Again, I suck at it. I've never won any money in Texas Hold'em. More of a blackjack guy. Steve and I did a work event where we joined a poker thing, and we were like the first ones out immediately. But it was so fun. It's really fun. I do like it a lot. Good communal game. After that, Tory Bash. Love Tory Bash. Dude, honestly, when I saw that on the list, I was like, I can't even believe that's on here. Fitzy and I have had many a good time playing that in my basement. Previously we played it, I think it was like a website or something, or like not even on like Steam or anything. We just downloaded it or something and we just played it. Honestly, Fitzy, I want to play that after this, but I understand if you don't want to. That's fun. And then, yep, single player Minecraft.
Number one.
Number one.
Best
baby.
game. The game of all time.
Yeah, dude, it's so fun. Honestly, can you remember the last time, like the first time you played Minecraft? Like, it was so fun. You know, you go in, you punch a tree. I know, Corby, I know it's not an auto clicker. It's not a fucking idle game. It's not a fucking roguelike or Souls game. You know, you piece of shit.
You know,
Like,
not
can you
every
just
game can
enjoy
be-
like fun games? Okay, like it's fun, dude. It's fun. Fucking kill me, dude. It's fun. Yeah, I'm done. No, I'm just kidding.
Totally agree, Mike. Not every game can be Inscription, which no spoilers. I know. I want to play it. I really want to play it.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, I'll tell you what happens, Fitzy. Don't worry. No, I'm just kidding.
We've had a lot of matchups that happened last week. So why don't we just hop into them? Why don't we just hop into Fitzy versus Chris Colby, where in podcast world, me, Fitzy, and the coin picked Fitzy. Chris and Collin picked Chris. And Fitzy wins. And let me be the one to start this. Fitzy, is your team sneaky good? Chris, Jerry Judy, Goose, Josh Reynolds is your highest scorer of the week. And I am way too drunk to be spouting off this garbage. Jamar Chase scores 13 divided by 10, 1.3 points. What's up with that? Fitzy, any thoughts on that?
Corby, I love that you're bringing math into the matchup here. Really appreciate that.
That's as the extension of my math that I can do is 13 divided by 10.
Oh boy. So let me just make sure. Yeah, here we go. So last week, Corby, you said that both of these teams crawled their way into the playoffs. It was going to be mud wrestling. Well, you know, I really thought you were right, and not on the pod, separately. Chris and I made a side bet, and I bet that the winner of our matchup would score under 150 points. I'm so glad I was wrong. Almost put the hundo almost won by 100. That's crazy. So Chris, this one's for you. AJ Green and Red Gronkowski decked the halls with not enough targets. But the absolute worst was definitely Judge Jerry Judy.
Oh, dude.
With the 4-target goose egg.
The Broncos suck. They're so bad.
I think even worse than that might have been Jamar 3-yard chase with 1.3 points. Or sneaky was the worst part. Kyler Murray with his worst non-injured game of the year against the Lions. All I know is that, like you said, the best part is seeing Josh Reynolds do well. I picked him up and dropped him. Then Adam picked him up and dropped him. And then Chris picked him up and started him in the playoffs. and leads the team. So happy for you on that one, Chris. Sorry I had to do you dirty like this. Mike?
Looking at this, I feel good about Chris losing because it's just another person like me who's never won the league. So that's great. Misery loves company. Chris, I love you. You're my cousin, dude. After I'm out this year, I hope you fucking win. That's great. I will say, Fitzy, you had Michael Pittman, who I had in the Discord league, and I was battling for a 4th seed to make it into the playoffs because Tim set it to 4 teams. But anyway.
Why did you do that? Why?
Well, he's going to say, well, everyone was fine with the rules. Well, we assumed it was 6 teams. Anyway, love Tim. Happy birthday, buddy. It's his birthday today, by the way. I had Michael Pittman. I also had a lot of other players that shit the bed, and I'm glad to see that you won. And honestly, no, I'm going to say this later, but you had Devontae Parker, who honestly I had no idea was playing, and I was at the game. So, and he had a touchdown apparently. Must have been when I was sleeping. I don't know.
Michael Pittman was physically attacked, and he got kicked out of the game.
Yeah, I saw that. Dude, when I saw that, I was like, I'm not checking fantasy for the rest of the day. I'm done. Also, I had Jello on my phone, so I didn't want to touch my phone.
Oh boy. Our next matchup of the week was Collin versus Taylor. And it should come as no surprise. Corby picked Taylor. Fitzy picked Taylor. Collin picked Taylor. The coin picked Taylor. Chrissy picked Collin, and Taylor gets the win. Merriam-Webster's dictionary defines destiny as a power that is believed to control what happens in the future. We said that word a lot last week. And this was destined to happen, and it is destiny. It is a sad end to Conky Dong's season, and I say that team name on purpose. I gotta ask, I want to kick it to you guys. What did you think of Collin's transactions last week in which he picked up Nathan Peterman, Tim Tebow, and Theo Riddick?
He started David Njoku. What the fuck? This is the only note that I have. Give me a fucking break.
My thoughts on Collin's transactions, solely just the transactions, is good for you, buddy. That's really funny. Comedy gold. I liked it when I saw your team. That was hilarious. But yeah, you go against destiny, bro. You're going to lose. I'm sorry, but we'll talk about that. I'll talk about my thoughts in a little bit.
So I got to say, Mike, I agree with you. I loved the moves. I have to say, when you're facing the fantasy gods square in the eye, you must try to appease them. And it almost
worked. It was like a hexagon he was placing, right? He was trying to summon the win, right?
Yeah,
by playing
exactly.
These people.
He was placing a counter hex against Taylor's team of destiny. And Tim Tebow, Nathan Peterman, Theo Riddick, those are the guys you want to put in your counter hex for sure. But Corby, much like you, I can't believe that he sat Amir Abdullah, the pass-catching running back for a bad team, and started David Njoku instead.
What are you thinking, dude? The pass-catching running back, the staple of your team. What do you expect?
And listen, he already came clean in the team, in the league chat. On his losing night, he basically had a concession speech where he said, I'm so sorry that I let other people tell me not to start Amir Abdullah. I would have told him to start Amir Abdullah, not me. I don't know who else was talking to him. Probably Adam.
Sure.
But yeah, hey, I want to talk about Taylor real quick. He started the Rams D against his own quarterback, which is sneaky smart because I was watching the matchup, not the game, but the matchup. And when Russ threw a pick, he made it a 1-point game with Miles Sanders still playing for Collin. And I was like, oh shit. The Rams D got their 2 points credited 10 seconds late. it was so much fun to see Taylor score 2 points off of an interception on his own team. That was
sure. Right.
Cherry on top.
Right. A great cherry on top. The only note I have for Taylor's team is Latavius Murray outscored his projection, which was not that great. So
yeah.
Great.
And Hunter Renfrow, 7 points, Nick Mullins less than 10. And I mean, on Collin's side, honestly, Arizona's defense only scoring 3 against the Lions might be the worst part. But Collin, just for you, I'm going to try to make you feel better. Watch the Theo Roan took on ACL V2, where Amon-Ra St. Nick came down the chimney with a big bag of points for all the good girls and boys. Unfortunately for Collin, Hunter Renfrow, ho ho, and baby, it's Cole Beasley outside, showed how low their floors can really be. Amir Abdullah would like to say from the bench, happy Ramadan to all, and to all a good season.
I don't want to be on the podcast anymore. I'm out of here.
Love that.
All right, so I have followed this game very closely. I am betting it all on Taylor. And, I want you to recall for a few weeks ago, I made a comment saying the only people who will never win the league are me and Taylor. And you know what? I think that is what spurred this unbelievable stretch. I'm full blown with Taylor. I love that guy so much. And what's funny to me, I was talking to him just earlier. We're playing RuneScape, great game made by Jagex. Love that game. I was like, dude, I can't believe you started Taysom Hill over Jared Goff. And he goes, yeah, I was debating between him or Russ. I was like, well, that's your thought? You're thinking between Russell Wilson and Jared Goff, not Taysom Hill and Jared Goff, right? And I think that speaks volumes, not to Taylor, well, kind of, but it speaks volumes to how far Russell Wilson has fallen, right? Like, that would be a no-brainer. You start Russell Wilson. Interesting. Also, Russell Wilson's on my team in the Discord league. Kind of related. Just saying.
Makes a
We
lot of sense.
don't talk about leagues that aren't this league, but it's okay.
But I just want to paint the picture of how much I suck.
You suck, Mike. You suck.
No, I will say it's relevant because that explains why Russell Wilson has been so bad. Sorry, Mike, back to you.
Yes. I think the move of starting the quarterback and the defense that he's playing against, that takes cojones, right? Like, you're going, that's some shit you do in like a showdown slate in daily, where there's a big disparity between the two. Love that. Great move. You have David Montgomery. We all know how I feel about Bears running backs. Also on my team in the Discord league. Anyway, now with Collin, I've known you since sixth grade now. And the thing I've always known about you is you go against what people say. You walk to Ohio. I mean, that goes against all conventions, right? Like, who walks to Ohio, right? You do, because you go your own path. And then you don't start Amir Abdullah. The guy who Chris Patno once bought an autographed jersey of when he played at Ohio and then sold it for the same price he bought it at. That guy. Pass catching running back. I mean, David Njoku, I get it. But also, I'm stupid. So, who knows?
So you don't get it. That's a bad play. That's a bad fucking play.
If I know it's a bad play, it's a bad play.
He sucks, dude.
But it's okay. I'm not going to beat you up because I get it, dude. You want to get cheeky? I mean, you started Amon-Ra St. Brown, my second favorite player on the Lions besides Jamal Williams. Great choice. Love that guy. And Cole Beasley has COVID. A lot of funny comments on the Reddit threads about that. I'm sorry, Collin. I'll be rooting for you, but it's Taylor. This is Taylor's league now. You got to run from it. That's it.
Speaking of really bad matchups, let's talk about Corby versus Eric in a matchup that didn't matter. And it still doesn't matter because I lost 120 to 95. To be honest, Eric is probably going to win everything. I'm glad I was on bye. And Yahoo is recommending that I shop for merch for Tyler Huntley. So, great. Sure. He was on my bench and I was on bye and nothing matters. Yee.
Corby, I want to just, my only note, because I didn't have any notes on this matchup, is that when Yahoo is recommending merch for the shittiest players, it's the surest sign that you had a bad time. I think a couple weeks ago, it recommended I buy Deonta Foreman's jersey, and I'm like, oh,
yeah,
that's how far I've fallen, is I need to buy Deonta Foreman's jersey now? Ugh. Mike?
So now I'm making note of a gift to get you for an upcoming event next year. One sec. Okay. You know, my note is first for the rest of the league. You guys are lucky that Eric was on bye. Plain and simple, right? You know, I mean, Taylor almost beat him, but also Taylor's, you know, he's going to score fucking 200 next week. We'll talk about that. But, you know, Corby, what a great week to see Tom Brady just suck. That guy's washed. Hate that guy unless he does good. Love that guy. No, just kidding. You know, I don't really have much else. I didn't know that Michael Gallup was on your team. I'm seeing that now. That guy almost made the cut for a guy that I hate, but I also love. Let me see Eric's team real quick. Chase Claypool. I thought that Corby was going to go all in on that guy. Just want to say that because Corby loves Steelers wide receivers that aren't Antonio Brown. What the fuck was that guy's name? What was that guy's name?
True. It's true.
What was that? Martavis Bryant.
Martavis Bryant.
Martavis Bryant
is like a fantasy darling for me. And also Deontay Johnson, another fantasy darling for me.
Yeah.
Chase Claypool, I'm done.
And then also with Eric's team, you know, I want to say sorry that Michael Carter is out next week with COVID. He would have ran train on the Jags. Future Hall of Famer. Jets are back, baby. Fitzy, you can back me on this. Jets are back.
Jets are back, baby.
Let's take a drink to that, bro.
Hey, we're storming up the draft boards. We're gonna have the 11th pick by the time this is all said.
Yeah.
Woo. So, Corby, let me introduce you to what happened in the alternative history losers bracket last week. We had Tyler taking on Chris P. Tyler wins 140 to 70, and therefore Chris wins and advances.
Sure.
We also had Brandy versus Chris. Chris wins 149 to 111, and
sure.
Brandy advances to take on Mike this week. So based on the picks, let's just quick recap. Corby, you went 3-2 last week. I went 3-2 because we picked all the same people again.
I love when Fitzy wins. It's great. This is awesome.
And the coin went 3-2. So we all went 3-2, which in a very raw moment for the pod, I don't remember if I updated these standings. I don't think I did. So let me update these real quick. That would put me at 56 and 33. You at 52 and
I couldn't care less. Couldn't care less.
Yep. I don't think our listeners could either. We'll just read it at the end. Read it at the end. So
hold on, I have to be shitty and let this for everybody. I'm way too drunk for this. Oh no, it's going to be way too long for this. Oh no.
We're almost done, buddy. Don't worry.
Mike, come on.
We're close,
all right,
bro.
You're good. No, what do you mean? No, we are not even close. We haven't even talked about next week's matchups. God.
Yeah, but
damn it. You're good.
Corby, you're gonna have so much fun editing this when I tell you that I'm not doing anything this week.
What do you mean? I'm the one who's not doing shit, bro.
Wait, do you have work tomorrow, Corby?
Yeah. I'm driving knitting tomorrow. I'm just kidding.
I almost spit out my drink.
I know. Now I'm working from home tomorrow. Fitzy, I love you. Thank you for everything.
I love you, Corby.
Love you guys.
Life is
This
pain. I couldn't care less.
And
but
also,
Oh God.
can you include this?
yes,
Yeah.
yes. No, and I was gonna say,
It's raw. It's fucking raw.
speaking of raw, Mike,
Pussy.
I hear that you have a segment that you'd like to bring to us today. So, between week 15 and week 16, the floor is yours, my friend.
Okay. Very simple graph. I was very inspired by Collin's scatter plot. I haven't seen one of those in I don't know how long. So I decided to make my own. So this is a little unconventional, so please bear with me just for a second. Okay. So I'm using Rapid Table Scatter Plot Maker. I tried to put the horizontal axis as miss and love and say my friends as the title. And then I put the value at 100 because I miss and love you all. And it says data columns for axis 0 cannot be type of string. But if you could visualize this graph real quick, it would be like here.
Sure.
That's it. Love you guys. Also, I had another chart that I deleted that was saying that Taylor will win it all. That's it. All right.
You won't.
He will. We'll talk about it.
It is destiny. But before we get to next week's matchups, Mike, little side segment real quick. Because in the comment section a couple of weeks ago, you said something to the effect of, "Thanks for having my back, Fitzy. Insert Bart Scott meme here." Is there any dirty laundry you would like to air for the rest of the league here?
So, Fitzy, you've been asking me questions, right? Like this whole time, you've been grilling me. And I have a question for you, right? Where do you get off? Okay. So, you've been roasting me this whole time. And you would say, no, I've also been defending you. Yeah, maybe the last episode, and maybe the episode before that, we're like, oh, Mike has injuries. But hold on, I know you're making your gestures, right? You're making big scene, right? Like you're offended. But let me present my case, okay? So, first off, as a fellow Jets fan, you have to understand the misery. My misery transcends just the NFL. It goes into fantasy football. I thought you of all people would understand you never say a negative thing about me. But after that game, when I demolished Brandy, left no trace, right? You texted me. You said, I can't believe you're about to put up over 200 points after all the slander I said about your team on the pod this week. You said that, right? I mean, you can verify that. I have the receipts. So that just proves that you've been slandering my team. From week 3, you've been saying that stuff. And in week 4, when I had my players go down, Kenny Golladay, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Saquon Barkley, Daniel Jones, you didn't even make mention of it in the pod. You didn't even make mention of the injuries. You just said that I just suck, pretty much, is the gist of it, right? So, Fitzy, I thought more of you. I expect that from Corby. So whatever, dude. Corby could say that all day. It's like, okay, sure, fine. But you, Fitzy, I expected better of you. And to top it all off, in the loser bracket, dark twisted fantasy thing that you're doing, you picked me to lose it all. So whatever you say is invalidated by that simple piece, especially after Collin saying, oh, Chris Cloud isn't going to start anybody. He's going to lose it all. You didn't even take that into account. You're just like, no, Mike's still going to lose it. So that's how little you thought of me and my team. And I rest my case. Also, I love you. But I rest my case now. Okay, that's it.
Love you too, Mike. I want to highlight the fact that I took the over on your team's wins against Collin, who smashed the under earlier on the year. And I also said, and I quote, I think Mike's going to go on a little bit of a run here. I also said that your team's getting hot on the past 2 pods. I would like to think of myself as a pretty impartial judge. When I say that your team sucks, it could be because of injuries. It could be because of bad moves. It could be because of bad draft. It still sucks. And I think you'd agree with that much, Eugene Horowitz.
I'll say that Collin gives that insight. But with you, I think with what you were saying, what you were trying to backtrack, like a politician caught in a scandal. You're trying to say the contrarian to what you were saying previously, like Joe Byron. And you were saying that, but really your true intentions lied in your choices, and you chose me to lose it all.
If I'm going to say anything here, I will quote Collin, because Collin once said that, quote, I'm done listening to Fitzy because I say pretty incendiary stuff on the pod. You got to heighten yourself, your true opinions. You got to really say like the most insensitive, incendiary opinions you have just to create content, really, So like, Mike, yeah, your team sucks, but maybe I was too harsh on the pod. So apologies, my friend.
Okay. I'm closing it with this. Another backtrack right there. You're saying, it doesn't matter. I'm just joking. Cancel Fitzy. Hashtag cancel Fitzy. Let's get it going. I'm about to tweet it right now. Let's get it. Come on. Let's circulate it. Let's go.
Cancel Fitzy.
Hey, his own co-host agrees. Corby, you've gone up a few notches.
Sure.
Sure. All right, sure. Now you've gone down like 1 notch, just 1 notch.
Good. I have no idea what we're talking about.
Speaking of whatever we just edited out, let's talk about week 2 of the fantasy playoffs. Our first matchup is Eric, the team that cannot lose, versus Taylor, the team that also, for some reason, cannot lose. Mike, I want to kick it to you first.
All right. I'm a big Taylor cheerleader. I wish I had a shirt with his face on it. Taylor, you give hope to the rabble like myself and Chris Colby. Again, my cousin. We're in the bottom tier. We're the bottom feeders, bro. Even if you made the playoffs, I mean, come on. Let's see Taylor do this gives us hope. Taylor has been starting players who suck, or been starting players who are going to get 0 points because they're out, and he still wins. What does that say, right? He's going to win. Deshaun Watson is on his... Deshaun Watson's still on his bench? Okay, Deshaun Watson is still on his bench. This guy is going to win. He has Boston Scott, Adams' favorite Eagles running back. He's got Tyler Lockett, who was COVID, but he's going to come back. I look at this, and I look at Taylor's team. Eric's team. Eric, you have a great team. Michael Carter's out. That would give you a guaranteed 30 points. So you got to get on with that. You have Jonathan Taylor, who I love very much. But Jonathan Taylor, can you believe this? He's on my team in the Discord League. So what does that say? It's a failure. Taylor is going to sweep this. He's going to win and move forward. Also, Terry McLaurin is on my Discord League team, and he's on Eric's team. So going with that alone, Taylor will easily get the victory. I'm going to put it at 40 points.
40 points? Wow. No, that's a stretch, my friend. At this point, I'm going to say for Team Destiny versus Team Unstoppable,
It was a team. I'm sorry. Jesus Christ. Team Destiny versus Team Unstoppable. A team. I think this matchup. Oh wow! I am so in big trouble. Oh my God. I think Taylor is living in a world where he has to start Latavius Murray and Kenneth Gainwell. I'm taking Eric.
That's all you gotta say, Corby. And I don't know, like you made it really simple, but I don't know. I found this matchup really hard to break down because entering this season, when Taylor makes the playoffs, which he has done 3 times before, it's a big enough sample size. He hits the ground running. He averages over 170 points in week 1 of the playoffs. When he advances, so he's made the final 4. Things are looking good. He has to have a good team to be in the final 4. He averages only 126. So if he usually drops by about 50 points entering round 2 of the playoffs, he's in for some trouble here. On the other hand, Eric has the hottest squad. He has the best squad. I mean, I call him the broom because he's sweeping us all here. Now, all that said, Taylor is still the team of Destiny, but can Destiny overcome logic? I hate to do it. I mean, I really hate to pick against the will of the fantasy gods, especially when I need their help. But I think Eric continues his dominance into the finals here. Give me Eric.
As always, welcome back. The coin.
And Corby, the coin, believes in the team of Destiny. The coin's taking Taylor.
Fitzy, you are smiting the gods with your pick, and it makes me so happy to see you fall. Love it.
Well, we'll see if I fall, because the next matchup we're breaking down is the 3rd time that we face off this year. Fitzy versus Corby. Battle of the co-hosts. And let me start. Rojo, welcome to the team, Ronald Jones. And Brandon Cooks is done, lost to COVID. So it's a wash. I had to parse through the data for this one, Corby. The only time we have ever met in the playoffs was back in the 2016 championship, where I came 2 points shy of dropping a 200 burger on you. Now, this year, I'm in trouble. You have the advantage at basically every position except for maybe tight end. But I think my tight end is dropping 30 points again this week. Let's go. Give me. Corby, what do you think is going to happen?
At this point, I can agree with that. I think that my team is without a doubt better than yours, like easily. But you have a good situation right now. You've got Rojo, who has arrived. You've got your PP in terms of Parker and Pittman, who are in a decent flex situation. So what should I do? Should I start Devontae Smith against the Giants, even though he hasn't been stellar for the past couple weeks? Should I start Rashad Penny, who 2 weeks ago scored 26 points, where last week he scored 6 points? I'm going to take myself. My team sucked shit last week, but it's definitely better than yours.
So, looking at this matchup, again, Fitzy, you have Devin Singletary, who the Bills said is their main guy, right? That's bullshit. But also, they're going against the Pats. Probably will have a good game. Devontae Parker against the Saints. Tua sucks. as I mentioned before, the Jets gave him a pick six. So, I mean, if the Jets can do that, the Saints can do that. Ronald Jones, yes. Return Brandon Ayuk. I hate that guy. I also love Deebo Samuel, so I'm very biased. Devontae Adams going against Cleveland. Yeah, he'll go up. Or he'll go off. Now looking at Corby's team, you got Tom going against the Panthers. 23 points. Yeah, that's the minimum. Even if he had a bad week last week, he's going, I would say 28, I would put it at least. Really. Najee Harris against the Chiefs. Yeah, he's going off. Aaron Jones against the Browns. Yep, definitely. Justin Jefferson against the Rams. That may be tough, but also Adam Thielen is out. So he might underperform, but I think he'll do well. I'm gonna give who do I think will win? Corby. Who do I want to win? Fitzy.
And who are you picking to win?
Wait, why? Why Fitzy over him?
I'm picking Corby to win, but I want Fitzy to win because I want Fitzy to make the playoffs or the championship and lose to Taylor.
Okay.
I want Fitzy to come so close only to be smited by destiny, especially after the blasphemy that he laid out. I think you will win, Corby, because, finally I got the chair. Fitzy, your team sucks, bro. You fucking squeaked by, dude. Davian Harris is your RB2 because you have Ronald Jones in there. Who else do you have in your team? Oh, Jordan Howard, that student of psychology. Oh no, he wasn't that guy. But anyway, you're gonna lose, Fitzy. It's just gonna happen. But I really hope you win so you can just get close to that and lose.
I'm glad we are both rooting for me this week, Mike. That means a lot. I got to tell you, to lose 2 years in a row, still going to improve my Yahoo ranking. So I'm not going to be too mad about getting 2 set silver medals. I love a gold.
Oh my God, Fitzy, you should be a politician, dude. Oh my God.
Classic white dude. Am I right? Or what?
I know.
You guys ever see that movie Gangs of New York? I was the politician in that movie. You've never seen it?
I don't watch white movies. Just kidding. It's a fake joke. It's just a joke.
It's a real joke, but just a joke.
Yeah. Okay.
Love that breakdown. And I got to say, there are only 2 teams that we are not talking about this week in a matchup. Sorry to you, Chris and Collin, because I think the 5th place consolation matchup is like the worst thing. We will not be picking a winner here because at least this week, you're both losers. I'm so sorry. Speaking of losers, Corby?
Couldn't care less.
Speaking of losers, we're moving on to the alternate history losers bracket once again. Our first matchup is Adam taking on Chris Patnode. And in this matchup, and I will go out and say it. Corby, do you have any notes for these? I have no notes for these.
No, I don't.
All right. So off the cuff, just looking at the numbers here, Adam, I think you listened to the pod. Even after being eliminated, even just being in the consolation, I think you listen to the pod enough that you want to win. So by winning, I think that Chris P will advance in the losers bracket. That's my first pick.
I don't even know who I am right now. So here we are. What? Where in the Google Doc are we? I have no idea.
In the Google Doc, we are underneath the second time you see this image pasted.
Nope, I don't see anything. I'm in trouble.
We are on page 4 of 7.
What? 4 of 7.
4 of 7.
1,
baby.
2, 3, 4. Okay, yeah. Okay, I'm here. Fitzy versus Corby. Okay, we are talking.
And then we're just a little bit below that.
A little bit below that. Adam versus Chris P. I'm making my pick right now.
Who will score
lose
fewer points? Who will score fewer
Chris
points?
P without a doubt. He doesn't care. He's done. He's totally done.
Mike,
Coin,
thoughts?
welcome back. No, fuck Mike. Mike, you can wait. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Coin.
Being welcomed to the losers bracket, the Coin picks Adam.
What a fucking dumbass.
Yeah, Coin sucks. It's gonna be Chris that loses. There's no comment beyond that. I hope Adam loses. Love you, Adam, but I hope you lose. But Chris will lose for sure.
And Mike, I want to keep it right with you because the next matchup, the first time you have been in a matchup in a while, is you trying not to advance against Brandy.
Well, you know, in, of course, typical me fashion, right? Mike Evans and Chris Godwin get hurt. So I think that plays to my advantage to lose. I'm going to say that Brandy wins. I think I'm going to lose.
I'm going to take Mike here because I feel like Mike cares more and Brandy doesn't know and doesn't care.
Insider scoop. Insider trading.
Yeah, no, I kind of agree with you. But Mike, listen, after you attacked me earlier on the pod, you really highlighted how cursed your team has been. So even if you start everyone and Brandy benches everyone except for her second best defense, I think Brandy advances, or Brandy wins, forcing you to advance. So give me Mike to advance here.
You know, Fitzy, if I am who you think I am, I suggest you tread lightly.
And,
I'm gonna win.
Well, tell you what. If winning means not advancing, then the Coin agrees with you actually. So the Coin thinks Brandy's moving on.
Does the Coin think that Brandy's gonna lose?
I love how I'm
what does it mean?
I'm going to leave it at that because I love just how confusing this bracket is. I want to leave it somewhat ambiguous.
It's bad. And that's fine.
It's bad and it will continue until the complaints stop. The floggings will continue until morale improves, as they say.
Keep it up. Speaking of
whatever we were saying,
welcome to Bets of the Week for my friend Fitzy, who I've heard has many bets, and I have 0. So Fitzy, lead us off, my friend.
Well, I'm going to lead you off first with a quick recap of what happened last week, because Corby, my favorite bet that we've made this year is the overtime bet. The first 3 times we made this bet, basically heads, tails, heads, Fitzy won all 3. But Corby, last week, you said that there would be no overtime this weekend. And strictly speaking, there were none on the weekend. We had an overtime game on Thursday, nothing on Saturday, Sunday, or Monday or Tuesday. So, Corby, you extend the week, the streak, I should say, to 2 in a row. How do you feel?
A winner is me.
A winner is thee, and a winner is he, because Collin, as a guest last week, made a bet that not Equinemius, I'm sorry, but Amon-Ra St. Brown would be the highest scoring Detroit Lion. I thought he was crazy. Chris P thought he was crazy. And Corby, you backed off because you were like, this could happen. We both owe Collin $5 via, I guess, Western Union is, I think, what we said on the pod. So we'll figure out how to give Collin $5 because Amon-Ra St. Brown was the highest scoring Lion. Even higher than the quarterback. Incredible.
If you shoot your shot, you take your shot. And I'm not dealing with that. So beyond that, we had Steven saying that everyone owes him $5 if Jalen Hurts is hurt. And he was not.
Corby, I want to ask.
Yeah.
Are you going to request $5 from him because he got that one wrong?
No. Mike, you're gonna request $5 from Steven?
No, for the amount of jewel hits that man has given me over the years, I'm not gonna request $5.
No.
Agreed. And now I wanna flip that back because I kind of agree. Would you have paid him $5 had Gardner Minshew led the Eagles to a win?
Yes, 100%. I would have.
Absolutely. What a smart bet by Steve to just say something ridiculous like that. Pure profit. So Steve, if you're listening, thank you for the content. Great move by you. Our next bet was total fantasy points. Zach Wilson or Trevor Lawrence. Chris P. Now, the way I wrote this was I take Trevor, Chris P. take Wilson. So I think that means I lost to Chris P. I just copy pasted this from last week. So Chris, we'll talk about it. We'll listen to last week's pod, but I think I owe you $5 on that one.
To close it off here, we've got Miles Sanders, total touches, 17.5. He had 20 total touches. Collin took the over. Corby, Chris, and Fitzy took the under. And that's where we lay.
So what I think is if Chris P, if you're listening, Corby, if you're listening, Venmo me $5, both of you, and I will physically hand Collin $15 next time I see him, because I have no other way to give him this money. Maybe tell you what, maybe we should send it to you, Corby, and you can like drive it to his house. Perfect.
Sure.
Thank you very much. So on to this week's bets. I have 5. And this is the most I've had, I think, since week 1. Corby, I know you said you don't have many for us here, or if any.
Zero.
Mike, do you have any that you would like to bring to the pod this week? Just give me a number first.
I definitely have 2.
2. All right. So in that case, Mike, let me go first with my first one here. And in fact, I'll go 2, then 1 to you, and then we'll go back and forth from there. So quick spoiler here, Corby. All of my bets this week are related to the co-host matchup. So could be boring for the rest of the folks, but I feel a close one coming on. I bet that our matchup will be decided by less than 15 points. What say you?
Nah.
You think you're going to blow it out, huh?
No, I think one of us will blow it out more than 15.
All right. Corby takes the over on 15 points. I love that. And our next one, Corby, this is just related to a player that I think we've made a bet on before, just head to head. And it was Dawson Knox. I'm feeling pretty spicy this week. I think that Rojo, newcomer to the team, is going to outscore Dawson Knox this week.
Agree.
Agreed. So no bet on that one. Good move. Good
Wait,
move.
can I take that bet, or is it just you two?
Mike, if you want in, absolutely. Yeah.
So you say Rojo outscores Dawson Knox. I say no.
All right, Mike, you're taking Dawson Knox. I like that. And that's a great segue. Mike, over to you.
So my first bet that I have is that Jonathan Taylor will score under 19.5 fantasy points.
Over.
I'm personally taking the under, so this sounds like a Mike v. Mike bet.
Who are they playing?
Well, you guys can do it. That's fine. I don't care. Shit. Hold on. They're playing the Cardinals. If this matters to you, on Saturday Night Football.
Ooh.
I'll take the over.
Mike, you wanted the under, was it?
Yeah, I'll take the under, yeah.
Lovely. We're Mike v. Mike. Civil War. I love it. So my next bet, Corby, is another one for you. I bet that win or lose, you will feel regret. I bet that Rashad Penny on your bench will score more than one of your flex players this week.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a great one.
I regret that.
Yeah, right. But if I put him in my starting lineup, it doesn't matter, right?
We'll tell you what, if you put him in your starting lineup, then he has to outscore the other 2 bench players, or at least one of the other 2 bench players. He has to be not your lowest.
I won't feel any regret. I won't.
You will not feel regret. So you're
No.
saying I like it. I like that.
No.
And I'm just going to write in the show notes that Rashad Penny will score more than one of your flex players, even if he is one of your flex players. Perfect.
Won't have a regret. I've already regretted it, so it's already a waste of money.
All right, you lose.
Lovely, Mike. I like that attitude. Mike, and do you see you had another one here for us today?
Yeah, it's very, very, very simple. Taylor will win the league.
No.
I will take the under on one championship for Taylor.
Gladly.
No.
I'll bet you both.
No.
So this makes I'm now up to I'm above my typical bet limit. I normally only bet $5 at a time on something. Mike, I'm now exposed both to you and Adam, $5 a piece on this one. So I'm not feeling too good, honestly. But
yeah, you shouldn't feel good.
No. Well, Corby, last two bets from me. Mike, first of all, do you have another one?
No, that was the last one.
All right, cool. My last two, I'm feeling pretty good, Corby, that you're going to accept these. Earlier this year on the pod, I bet that the Runny Badger would outscore the GOAT, Tom Brady. And we're facing each other this week with those same quarterbacks. This week, I'm switching it up. I bet that Matt Stafford will score less than Big Throw Joe Burrow. What say you?
Who do they play?
I don't know. Matt Stafford is projected for more points, if that makes you feel better. Joe Burrow is playing Baltimore. Matt Stafford is playing Minnesota.
Dude, Matt Stafford about to feast.
Yeah, I'm going to take Matt Stafford here.
All right. Matt v. Big Throw Joe. All right.
Sure.
And my final bet, Corby, I want to bet you that the winner of our matchup, 1v1, whoever wins, will score an odd number of points, ignoring decimals. So like 151.98, 151, that's still odd number. So
no, I'll take the even.
You'll take the even? Heck
sure.
Yeah. Shout out Chris Colby, because we made this bet last week. And I want to, I love this bet. This makes it interesting. Even if like the projections go wild on Saturday and Sunday, Monday night can still be interesting. I like it.
Mike, apparently we have another small segment here. So Mike, come on up. You're good. Let's go.
All right. Thanks, Corby. So this was just thought of on the fly, you know, where we were talking about bum players earlier, and I was trying to think of people in our league and the bum players associated with the players in the league. Now, I can't do it for every team. I'm going to try my best. I'm also just going to associate players in general with the team. You may agree with that they're a bum or not. Again, I'll try. Definitely one of them is not a bum. But anyway, Fitzy, I mean, I already said it earlier. Pierre Garcon, so I associate with you. You know, it's just, it clicked once you said that, the 49ers. I was like, yeah, it's Pierre Garcon. That's Fitzy's guy. Corby, Jordan Matthews. I already said it. That's definitely Jordan Matthews. I would also say Ryan Matthews. I mean, you guys you like the Matthews.
The Matthews
Eagles. Men. Yeah, the Matthews men on the Eagles. You like them. You know, me, I mean, I think the player that people associate with me is either Bishop Sankey or Matt Jones. You know, I would put it out there. But Mike, moving down,
Mike, before we move on, I want to tell you that it's definitely Bishop Stanky. That is definitely what people associate with you. No offense to Matt Jones, but the stank, you can't remove the stank.
Dude, it was the first red zone experience I had was at Adams, and Bishop Sankey scored, I think, 2 touchdowns for the Titans. I was like, this is my guy. And he maybe scored 2 more touchdowns for the rest of the year, you know? And it's like, what can you do?
Red zone at Adams is where like heroes are made. I don't think Collin would be a Theo guy the way he is without seeing Theo score like a couple receiving touchdowns week 1 at Adams Place. So definitely where heroes are born.
And that leads me to my next person, Collin. Theo. I mean, that is just obvious. I mean, I don't think there's a debate, right? Like, it's Theo, right? Obviously. Chris P, my fellow Floridian, I always associate Terrence Williams with you, no matter what. That's just the guy that I see Terrence Williams and I instantly think of you. Now moving on, Taylor, Latavius Murray. And I think the proof is in the pudding. Who is on Taylor's team right now? Latavius Murray.
Sure.
Taylor loves Latavius Murray, loves that guy. Cash. If I think Corby can guess this with the simple 3-letter phrase from Cash that we've all received texts in this form. What is it? What is it, Corby?
No, not me.
You want Fred. You
Okay.
want Fred. It's
Sure.
Alfred Morris. Oh, dude, it's Alfred Morris. Adam.
Well, Mike, real quick, I want to only do, like, maybe not a bum, because you're right. Alfred Morris, the bigger bum that I associate with Tyler.
Doug Martin.
Yes, Doug Martin. Absolutely, I would have said Doug. Well, even when you were saying you want, I was like, it's Doug. It's Doug. It's Doug. It's Doug. Not Doug.
Yes. Because initially when I was doing it, I was thinking just bums, and that's why I said Fred for Cash. But yes, Doug is also right there with Fred. Chris Cloud, Andy Dalton.
Oh, yeah.
You always draft that guy. I mean, you don't have him this year, but beyond that, I feel like you always have him. Adam, Charles Sims, Tampa Bay Buccaneers running back. I feel like you always have that guy. Well, obviously not recently, but in previous years, yes, you always had that guy.
That's good, because I feel like Adam has like a type of bum. He has a bum archetype more than he has a specific bum, like, hey, he was the first one on LaVisca Chenault, and now that guy's a bum, and now Adam doesn't have him anymore. So, like, you're right. Adam likes young bums, but Charles Sims is a specific bum he likes.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And Brandy, newcomer to the league. And this person is definitely not a bum. No question. Not a bum. He's a superstar, actually. First round draft pick, I would say. Great running back. Alvin Kamara. Yeah, you're mouthing it, Fitzy. It's Alvin Kamara. That's who I associate with Brandy all the time. Definitely Alvin Kamara.
And Brandy, another one that comes to mind, just because it's the Saints, Drew Brees. We didn't get to it last week, but I had it in my notes when we were talking about favorite team names of other people. The Brees knees that you had last year with the picture of the B movie, that's an all-timer. I really associate, because of that, anything Saints with you. Like, you can be from New Orleans, but until you have the Brees knees.
Oh, definitely. Good team there. Also, America's Next Top Waddle. Better than Waddle Baby. And I was very proud of Waddle Baby.
Absolutely. And I defended Waddle Baby. I was the only one on the pod that week that liked Waddle Baby, Mike.
All right. Politician Fitzy. All right. Now, Chris Colby was the hardest. I guess because I just honestly don't pay attention to Chris Colby's team. Not that he's bad, I just don't look at it really. I don't know. You're definitely much better than me, full disclaimer. But the player that comes to mind whenever I think of Chris Colby is Michael Vick. And it's because of that trade that you made, what was it, like 3 years ago? I can't remember who the players were, but it involved Michael Vick. And we were trading for Michael Vick, and you gave up like a round 1 or round 2 wide receiver for Michael Vick. So that's who I always think about. Maybe not the best association, right? But for Eric, I would say, I know his name rhymes with your name. His first name, Derek Carr. I associate Derek Carr with Eric. Again, another hard one like Chris Colby. Yeah, that and the picture of Corby with the big hair. That's also I associate you with the word escape.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
That's it. That's who I associate players with. I'm going to leave it at that. Take it what you will. You can tell me I'm wrong. That's fine. And then leave it in the comments. And I'll let you know if you're wrong.
I like that,
There you go.
Mike. Leave it in the comment who you like, one player per comment who you strongly associate with a player. And please don't say Trey Sermon - Fitzy. I won't like that. So, Corby, I want you to start us off here then with the mailbag for the week.
So Collin starts us with this comment. Corby segues are legendary. Speaking of wings and peepees.
I couldn't agree more here, Dewey Boyman. As the season's gone along, we've made some segues, and it's sort of become an unspoken tradition. So speaking of traditions, Cash makes it 2 weeks in a row in the comments section, and he brings a question for you, Mike. He asks you to rank his worst, or sorry, not his, but he asks Mike to rank his worst moments as a Jets fan.
Well, as you know, Fitzy, there's too many to count. I would say, for me personally, the AFC was it 2009 or 2010 after they beat the Patriots, and then they beat the Patriots. They beat the Patriots in the playoffs.
Can't wait.
After can't wait. We're so high, and we're like, oh my god, they're gonna win, right? And then they lose. But that's also just a common theme in the AFC Championship, right? And it goes back to another bad moment. Doug Flutie, or not? Is it Doug Flutie? No, Doug Bryan. Sorry, not Doug Flutie. Doug Bryan, right? 2005, the missed field goal against the Steelers.
Just field goal?
Field goal, yeah. They would have won if they hit it. That was the moment, I think my worst moment, because I was a young kid, and I was like, all right, this team is just going to lead me to heartbreak. And then the butt fumble, and then also the Adam Gase era was just awful. Sam Darnold, I'm seeing Ghost Game. I was watching that with Cash. The best moment of that game was the trailer for Star Wars Force Awakens. I think it was Force Awakens, maybe Last Jedi. That was the best moment of my night. So, that's what I put out. I put the number one at the Jets losing after they beat the Pats in the AFC playoffs for the championship. Yeah, they lose in the championship.
I'm actually quite surprised that it is not butt fumble game in the year afterward, because every Friday, and this is my personal answer as a Jets fan, this is my worst moment as a Jets fan, is I was not watching the butt fumble game live. We were watching Thanksgiving 3, and unbelievably, I am glad that I was watching that instead, because that's the worst movie I've ever seen, but it's better to watch the worst movie than the worst football game ever. Oh my goodness. And then I go off to UMass. I go off to college. I'm a freshman. I'm trying to make my way in the world. And every Sunday morning, ESPN is playing on the small TV where I work, the Not Top 10. And every week, it's the fucking butt fumble again and again and again. And I have to sit there and watch. Oh, God. So, I think it's easy. Like Mike, you give a very nuanced answer. Mine's the obvious answer. And I'm glad that you commented 100%. I'm glad that you came ready to defend yourself. All right. Now, Mike, the next comment was from you, and I'm not going to read it for you. Why don't you read it away here?
Oh, sure. This came from the heart. I want to say that in the draft this year, I wanted to go against my normal judgment. I figured, since I was always wrong previous years, why not pull a George Costanza and do the opposite? So I drafted a few players I didn't really want to draft. Clyde, Saquon, Kenny Galladay, all of which were injured on week 4. But anyway, and kind of Raheem Mostert. I love Raheem Mostert, who is also a New Smyrna Beach native. Represent. That's only about like 35 minutes away from me. But went into the year trying to stay away because of injury concerns. What can we gather from this? I suck at fantasy football.
Yeah.
And Collin, he had to chime right in and say, Corby did the exact same thing going against his gut, and it worked out for him. I think what this really proves is that fantasy football is man's foolish attempt to render order unto chaos.
Yeah, at this point, I totally agree with that. 50, Mike and I joined the league with literally the same mindset. Like Mike was the first person that I texted, and he was like, I drafted a bunch of people that I don't know. Like, I've never owned these people. And I'm like, yeah, same. But here I am, and here Mike is, and like, fancies. It's all luck. It is all luck.
So with that, Mike, you had one other comment in the section this week, and I'm going to ask you once again to please read it because you were the one to comment back to back.
Person of the year should be Taylor. Absolute Chad making the playoffs when starting bench players every week. And when I said bench players, I was definitely a few drinks deep, and I was meant to say like benchable, right?
No,
definitely.
No. Have you seen Taylor's lineup? Like, it's bad, and here he is.
That's my point. You starting players that you would bench,
and he might win this week. He won't win. He won't win this week.
He might win. He will win.
He won't.
Go Taylor. No. Go Taylor.
Mike, I legitimately thought you actually meant what you typed, saying starting benched players, because he famously has Deshaun Watson on his team. Incredible.
And how much of a flex would that be if he wins it all and Deshaun Watson is still on his bench?
Like I said last week, he completed the league this year, the regular season. He completed it on hardcore mode, and he still made the playoffs. It's incredible.
It's true. And, I've said this to many people. Adam, I haven't said this to you. Hope Taylor wins because I know it'll piss you off, bro. Adam, again, I love you, but you're a bastard in fantasy. So
speaking of Adam, he was the next one to comment. He responds directly to Collin's charts and confirms that he is indeed disappointed in Diggs.
Me too. At that point, like Collin says, Amon-Ra is the greatest St. Brown since Equanimous. He's definitely better than Equanimous.
So I looked this one up. Do you know there is a third St. Brown brother set to take over this league?
No.
Osiris. Yes. Another Egyptian god. Osiris plays ball for Stanford. Incredible. Can't wait to draft Osiris St. Brown in a couple of years.
I just want to say shout out to these Mr. and Mrs. St. Brown. Great names. You instantly set them up to stand out amongst the rest.
Yeah, speaking of popping them out, I'd like to say thank you to our listeners. I'd like to say thank you to Mike. I've got bad hiccups, and I'd like to say thank you to Mike in terms of being a guest on our podcast. And if you have a plug or a shout out, this is the point in which you should do that. So the floor is yours, my friend.
All right. My true and last plug, promise, my last one. I want to wish my friends a very Merry Christmas. You guys all deserve everything that you asked for. I love you all very much. I miss you all. I hope this next year is the best year of your lives, and it continues that way. and I will see you guys a lot next year because I'll be up there. Also, the Jets are back, baby. It's coming. Just wait. It's going to be here. Fitzy and I, we're going to be standing there on the scorched earth, and we're going to be laughing at you all. And then I'm going to punch Fitzy because he disgraced me this year in fantasy. But then I'm going to pick him up, and I'm going to be like, you're my brother. And then Malphite will be there. No, I'm just kidding. Love you guys. Thanks for having me. It's been fun. I'm ready to take another shot, but Corby, you probably don't want to take another one. I get it. It's fine. Fitzy, if you want to drink some whatever you're drinking, looks like sludge, drink that.
I know, bitch. I'm ready for another shot, and I've got the hiccups. And I'd like to say thank you to all our listeners and all of our friends who, for some reason, listened to this garbage that we make. And a shout out to them, and a shout out to Mike, and a shout out to Fitzy. And please, don't forget to smash the like button. It really takes a lot of effort, and like, here we are. We're still doing it. I've got at least 2 more episodes of this. Let's fucking go. Once again, thank you. My name is Corby.
I'm Fitzy.
And I am Mike. And gamers. Game
You're up by 1 and a 2-fer.